Hello everyone, I'm Namrata and today we'll be discussing the chapter How do organisms reproduce. So all the living beings which are present on the earth, they grow old with time and then they die. But for the continuity of their species on this earth, reproduction is a very essential part of their life. So what is reproduction? When the term reproduction comes, the first thing that comes to our mind is that it is a process by which the organisms produce new organisms of the same species. Why I am saying here the same species? Because we cannot say an organism of one species will produce an organism of another species. As for example, we can take humans. Humans, they give birth only to humans. The dogs, they give birth to puppies, and the cat, they give birth to kittens. So this reproduction is very essential for the continuity of survival of species on this earth. So this is the definition of reproduction that I have already explained to you. So in the reproduction, there are mainly two methods. One is the asexual reproduction and the another one is the sexual reproduction. So at first we will be discussing about the asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction only one parent is involved. Asexual reproduction, the parent organism does not use the special reproductive cells which are also known as the sex cells. These reproductive cells are also known as gametes. Asexual reproduction mainly takes place in unicellular animals and plants. The unicellular animals, we can take the example as amoeba, paramecium, some bacteria, and also some plants. Not only in unicellular animals but also in some multicellular animals like the hydra, the higher plants like we can take the example of rose. There are mainly 6 different methods of asexual reproduction. These 6 different methods of asexual reproduction are fission, budding, spore formation, regeneration, fragmentation, and vegetative propagation. So now we will be discussing about the fission. Fission means to split up, or we can also say that to break. This fission is followed by unicellular organisms like bacteria and protozoa. The parent organism, they split up and then they form two identical new organisms. This fission is also of different types. One is the binary fission and the another one is the multiple fission. In the binary fission, the parent organism, they split up into two new organisms. They split up into two new organisms. But in multiple fission, the parent organism, they split up into many new organisms. Now, the definition of binary fission, we can say that the parent organism, they splits or divides to form two new organisms. So here what we will write, in binary fissions, so the binary fission, we will be discussing about the binary fission in detail, taking few examples. The first example we are going to take is about the amoeba. So amoeba is a unicellular organism. The amoeba, it does not have any specific shape. So this is an amoeba and it has got a nucleus. So this is the cell membrane of the amoeba. This is the nucleus and these are the cytoplasm. The amoeba, when it becomes mature, that means it is a fully grown amoeba. Stop. When an amoeba becomes mature, then its nucleus lengthens, that means the nucleus, it elongates. This is the nucleus of the amoeba. This nucleus, it lengthens, or we can say that it elongates. When the nucleus elongates, this nucleus get divided into two parts. So when the nucleus it lengthens, then the nucleus gets divided into two nucleus. That means two new nucleus forms, and we see that the nucleus divides into two parts. After the nucleus gets divided into two parts, then the cytoplasm starts dividing. So this is here the cytoplasm, it starts dividing. And then at this point the cytoplasm gets fully divided and two daughter amoeba is formed. These two are the newly formed amoeba. Or we can say that two daughter cells are formed. So this is the full reproduction in amoeba by binary fission. In the similar way, the reproduction also takes place in paramecium and you can say euglena and some others protozoans. We have already discussed about the binary fission. Now we will be discussing about the multiple fission. Multiple fission is the process in which the parent organism splits to many new organisms at the same time. In the binary fission, we have seen that the parent organism splits up into two new individual. But in multiple fission, the parent organism splits up into many new organisms. This mainly happens in Plasmodium. And it takes place when the environment condition is not favorable. That means in a situation where the environment is not suitable for this species, then the Plasmodium species, it form a cyst around it. This is the cell, that means the Plasmodium, and this is the cyst that it has formed. Cyst is nothing but a protective layer that protects the cell from the outside unfavorable condition. And this is the nucleus of this cell. The same process takes place here as in binary fission. The nucleus, it splits up into many new nucleus, and then the cytoplasm starts dividing, and this division takes place inside the cyst. That means inside the cyst, many new cells are being formed because of binary fission. So, these are the daughter cells which are being formed by binary fission, and this is the cyst. Now, when the environment condition becomes suitable, then this cyst, it breaks down and the daughter cells are being released into the environment. This is the way in which the multiple fission takes place. Here the cyst, it breaks down and the daughter cells are released. Plasmodium is a parasite which caused the disease malaria in human being. So we have completed the study of fission. Now we'll move on to the second method of asexual reproduction, which is budding. Budding is a process of asexual reproduction in which the new organism develops from the parent organism by separating out from its parent body part in the form of a bud. So we can see that in budding, a small part of the body of the parent organism grows out as a bud. Bud is nothing but a small outgrowth which then separates out from its parent body. Here we will write it as detaches, and then it becomes a new organism. So this budding is especially followed by hydra and yeast. Hydra is a simple multicellular organism. The yeast is a unicellular non-green plant. So now we will study the reproduction of hydra, how hydra reproduces. So hydra, as I already told you, it is a multicellular organism, and the structure of hydra is somewhat like this. This is the mouth of the hydra, and it has got these tentacles. So this is a hydra and it is a parent hydra. And these are the tentacles which is present near the mouth of the hydra. This is the mouth of the hydra and these are the tentacles. So this is a parent hydra. Now the parent hydra will reproduce by forming a bud. So at this body part an outgrowth will grow which will be known as the bud. So this is the bud, which is an outgrowth of the parent body. Here in the parent hydra a bud has been formed which is a small outgrowth from the parent body. The bud then slowly and gradually develops and then it forms a new hydra by forming tentacles and the mouth. And then finally the new hydra detaches from its parent body and then it lives as a separate organism and it grows there to form a mature hydra. The new hydra detaches. So this is the process in which a hydra reproduces by the method of budding. Now we will discuss about the budding in yeast. This is a parent yeast cell and then the parent reproduces by forming a bud. And when the bud gets mature enough, then this bud separates off from the parent yeast cell and a new yeast cell is formed. The budding in yeast is however sometimes so fast that the first bud which is formed before separating off from the parent cell, it forms its own bud and then in this process a long chain of yeast cell is formed, and when the bud gets mature enough then it will separate off here, and in the similar way another formation of bud will go on in the yeast cell. So this is all about the budding process. Now we will be discussing about the spore formation. Most of the fungi, bacteria, non-flowering plants such as ferns and mosses, they reproduce by the process of spore formation. Spore formation is a process in which the plant produces hundreds of microscopic reproductive units which are known as spores. These spores remain present inside a spore case, and when the spore case bursts out, the spores are released into the environment, and when they find a favorable place for their survival, they grow there and then a new plant grows. Most of you have seen that when the bread is kept in a home for a longer period of time, then in that slice of bread some black substances grow. These are actually fungus and those are actually the rhizopus fungus, which is commonly known as the bread mold. So this is a rhizopus fungus and these are the spores which are present inside the spore case, which is also known as sporangium. And since it is a fungus, it is a plant, so it has got the stem. These are the hyphae of the plant and another plant remains attached through this hyphae. So when the favorable condition is reached, this spore case it bursts and the spores which are present inside this sporangium, it comes out and then it is released into the environment, and then when they find a favorable condition for their growth, they germinate and then new plants are produced. So now the next process of asexual reproduction is regeneration. Regeneration is a process in which simple animals like hydra or planidaria, they get back to their original form from their body parts. It happens if accidentally any body part of the organism gets cut out, then from that cut out body part a new organism will be formed. As here I'll be explaining with a planaria worm. So this is a planaria worm. If accidentally the planaria worm body parts get cut into this pieces, then from each of these pieces a new planaria organism will be formed. This will be the first planaria that will be formed from its head part. This will be the second planaria that will be formed from its mid body part, and this will be the third planaria that will be formed from its tail part. So this is how the regeneration process takes place. The same process also happens in case of Hydra. If accidentally any body part of the Hydra plant gets cut out, then from that cut out part a new Hydra plant can generate. This happens because these organisms are very simple in origin. The cells of the cut body part of the organism, they will divide rapidly and then they will form a ball of cells. These cells will then gradually divide and then they will take the place of the organs which are required to form the full body, and in this way regeneration takes place. Simple organisms can reproduce by the process of regeneration. Complex multicellular organisms, they cannot reproduce by the process of regeneration, because in complex multicellular organisms their body organization is very complex. First there are the cells, and then the cells together they form the tissues, and then the tissues combine together to form the organs. The organs together they will form the organ system, and then the whole body of a multicellular organism will be formed. So this is a very long process. So regeneration cannot take place in case of complex multicellular organisms. It can only take place in case of simple multicellular organisms like Hydra and Planaria. Then now the next asexual reproduction process is the fragmentation. Fragmentation is somewhat similar to regeneration. Regeneration usually happens accidentally, but fragmentation is the process in which when the organisms become mature, then the organisms break its body into two different parts, so that from each pieces a new organism can grow. This is what fragmentation is. So this is how we can write a definition of fragmentation, and this fragmentation is followed by Spirogyra and sea anemone. This is the structure of a mature Spirogyra, and these are its fragments. When the Spirogyra gets mature, then the fragmentation occurs, and from each of these fragments new organism of Spirogyra are being formed. This is how the fragmentation takes place. So now we will be studying the next process of asexual reproduction, which is vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation is the process of obtaining new plants from the part of the old plants. Part of the old plants means like the stem, roots and leaves of the plant, and there is no any use of the reproductive organ. The vegetative propagation method, we have seen it in our daily lives. We have seen many plants which grow from leaves, which grow from the stems and roots. You can take the example of potato, which grows from its tuber part, the carrot, the turnip, or also some plants which grow from its leaves like the bryophyllum. The bryophyllum plant which grow from its leaf. Plants which grow from its stems, we can take the example of rose, money plant, etc. There are many plants which grow from these parts of the old plant. So this vegetative propagation is all about that. And here I want to discuss about the artificial propagation method. Artificial propagation method is the process of growing many plants from the old plant by man-made method. Why I am saying man-made method? Because the human beings, they cut out the pieces of the stems or roots, or you can also say that they take the leaves and then they form the new plants. This is what the definition of artificial propagation of plant is. Then there are three common methods of artificial propagation and those are the cuttings, the layerings and grafting. Cutting is the process in which a part of the plant is being cut and then its lower part is dipped in the moist soil, and from that part the roots and shoots develop. So this cutting process is mainly done in case of rose plant, in sugar canes, even in bananas, etc. So these are some common examples. Then the next one is the layering. In the layering process, a branch of the plant is pulled towards the ground and then it is covered with the moist soil in such a way that the tip of that branch is exposed above the ground, and in that covered part of the stem the roots develop, and we can separate out the branch which is buried in the soil and then we can plant it in some other place. This is how the layering is done. The layering is mainly done in case of jasmine plant, which is also known as the chameli plant. Grafting process is a bit complex one, because in the grafting the stems of two different plants are being cut in such a way that one plant has got the root part and the other plant has got the shoot part, and the plant which has got the root part is called the stalk and the plant which has got the shoot part is called the scion. Now both these parts are then joined together in a way that the two stems join and then they grow into a single plant. There are many advantages of artificial propagation. Artificial propagation is mainly done to get the desirable character from the plant, and from one single plant many new plants can be formed. And also many plants which are seedless plant, they can reproduce by the process of artificial propagation. So this was all about the asexual reproduction method, and then we will be discussing about the sexual reproduction method in my next video. Thank you for watching my video. I hope I am quite helpful to you, and if you have any kind of doubts you can ask me in the comment section. I will be very happy to help you. I will be uploading the next part of this chapter in my next video. Thank you.